I know it's sort of not necessarily, it's sort of linking to a load of other like sabbatical positions, but I know like how with the job shop, do you reckon there's a possibility of like a job section maybe, or work experience section in the paper, and then like if there's sort of that thing, then more people might want to read it if there's that possibility, because I know it's a big issue like with students, like work experience and jobs and things.
Yeah, I mean that's always a good section idea. I mean there's always the problem that is making sure that you have something in there every issue, and you would have to have a lot of reliable places that would give you work experience every single issue, because otherwise you would be having, you might have like lots of work experience in place one issue, and then the next issue you would have nothing because nobody's got any positions open. But yes, that would definitely be a good thing to look into.
Okay, thanks Jenny. We're just about. Okay, there's just 2 positions left now, which is the union councillors and also the delegates that are going to go to the NUS conference in April. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's where the National Union of Students formulate their policy and debate what they're going to be campaigning on for the following year. So basically the people that we elect to go there are going to be giving the input of our students' union. So do we have Hanif? Do we have Dylan? No. Sahel?
No.
And Amara? Do we have any union councillors that are standing for election? Or the union chair? Okay, it's just you, Hanif. So if you want to just say a bit about yourself.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Hanif, I'm your current Education and Welfare Officer. It's my second year as a sabbatical officer. I think I've succeeded in many things that I said that I put in my manifesto last year. Some have taken a lot longer than others, but change does take a lot of time, and I believe I'm the right person to go to the NUS. As I believe one of the things I've been pushing is assessment feedback, something which I tackled last year. I achieved the 3-week rule, where students should receive feedback within 3 weeks. There are plenty of discrepancies among schools, but we won't go into that. Also, I've achieved many other things, such as being the first officer to develop a disabilities conference outside the NUS, which has been recognised by the NUS. Also, it highlights our institution, which is a good thing. Also, I reacted to the university's proposal for class time changes, and I believe I have the necessary skills to go up there amongst 1,000 people and basically state that this is what we want the NUS to concentrate on, and this is why. So please vote for me.
Okay, so what issues do you actually want this union to take to the NUS conference?
One issue, which I totally forgot to put on last Union Council, is assessment feedback. I think one of the great things that we did as a union was push, when we recognised last year that assessment and feedback was a national concern. I looked into the university regulations, and it stated something like, students should receive timely feedback. In my opinion, that wasn't good enough, as we're consumers now, and we should receive a quality education, and I believe that students should have received their assessments within 3-4 weeks of handing the deadlines. If university expects something from us, we should expect something in return. So assessment feedback is something that I think needs to be nipped in the bud. I think we need to ensure that thematic reviews are done across higher education institutions, and I'll be pushing that at the next conference if I get elected.
Okay, so we'll go to the floor again. Does anyone have any questions for Hanif?
In the race for NUS President, who are you going to back and who are you going to use your vote representing us to vote for?
Right, NUS President, at this moment in time I have a brilliant relationship with the current Vice President of Higher Education, which is Aaron Porter. I think Aaron's got the necessary skills, the experience, the leadership qualities, and also he's good at debating, and you need someone who will sit down with unions and MPs, and develop policy and ensure that students are basically at the forefront of everything. I also see Bella as having all those natural leadership skills, but she has her own views on NUS, and I kind of I'm on the opposite fence, as it were, on some of them views. And then you have Bubble. I think what Bubble has is he's got that personality, as it were, where he can actually engage with anyone, but I don't think he's got the necessary skills as a prominent leader to lead the NUS. So at this moment in time, my vote is with Aaron Porter, but I'm actually backing someone else for higher education, so we'll see what happens.
Question from Ben.
When you were talking about taking things to a NUS conference, how did you go about finding what issues are important to students? Did you fish, for instance?
I'll be honest. Well, it was. I didn't fish. I'll be honest. It's a strategy which I'm not totally against, but I just think the concept was, or there was no strategy in place in order to do that in an appropriate manner. But I passed it through council. I thought through council we could develop something, or develop some motions which as a union we'd like to take forward. Sadly there wasn't any. And I think what we've done as an institution on assessment and feedback, NUS have recognised that doing thematic reviews on the motion that I'm going to put forward, the current VP Higher Education Officer actually thinks it's a very good idea. So when you have that much support, it's kind of difficult not to go forward. But it's obviously one of the main things is the amount of cuts that are going to occur in higher education, and I'm sure the next education officer is going to have a lot to deal with.
Question from Maxwell.
You said that you've got opposing views to somebody on the NUS. What are your views on the NUS?
My views on the NUS. Well, the views that I would say were about Bella. She's the current Black Students Officer. I think Bella's got all. I think she's got all the leadership qualities. But I just think everything that the NUS has done so far contradict Bella's views of free education. In my opinion, I back the blueprint, which a lot of you guys sitting here today back the blueprint as well. In my opinion, or in our opinion as a union, the blueprint is the best way to ensure we keep on widening participation within higher education. And if a student wants to come into higher education without having the burden of tuition fees on top of their mind, it's the best way. I think, in my opinion, NUS needs to look at its internal structures and formulate a strategy where they don't expect unions to pay £50,000. I don't know what we get for £50,000. If a piece of plastic constitutes that, which our students actually pay for, then that's up to us. But I think the NUS needs to, look for other types of advertising revenue. Needs to look at, ensuring that institutions or unions, the union's contribution is decreasing rather than increasing, because there are cuts that are going to be made, and at this moment in time there's a lot of uncertainty in higher education.
After hearing your answers, I have to ask, are you against free education, and if so, why are you?
Free education, I'm not against it. I think it's a brilliant concept, but it'll never happen. I think the amount of money that this government has basically taken from the Treasury to finance higher education, we've kind of basically developed such a big black hole that we need to ensure that it doesn't keep on increasing, we need to decrease. I think that the NUS blueprint is the best mechanism, if installed, to ensure that students keep on coming into higher education, their debt decreases, and also one thing that the blueprint doesn't incorporate is how much money businesses would invest in higher education. So I think there's an opportunity there. It'd be brilliant, if we could fight for free education, but let's be realistic, it's not going to happen. So we have to fight for a system which is much more realistic, which is in the short term a better solution to our students, and to the students of this country. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nick. Okay, that just about brings us to a close.